Good morning and welcome back to our Pacific Morning Show. Happy Monday to all our viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate, honestly, the likes, passing on our podcast to other people. But thank you so much for coming back to our show this morning. On today's show, unfortunately, Isua Kawakimoto, our amazing co-host, could not make it to the show today. He is currently, apparently he's coaching the All Blacks for the next Rugby World Cup.
They're definitely going to win. And I believe this with all of my soul.
Exactly. And he's been an advisor for the Tongan and Samoan team as well. So shout out to Isua. He will be back for our next episode. But on today's show, I'm really, really excited because we have an awesome guest that I've been very eager to interview. And his name is the Western Guide, Vaikafe Oleangasala. Your big friendly neighborhood. I popped out. Your big friendly neighborhood USO. Also, producer for The Morning Shack, a creative artist, and he has a new song that has released called Siva Mai. How are you this morning, The Western Guide?
I'm good. That is such a long intro. Thank you so much for doing your research on all of those names.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
That's okay. And because you appreciate it, I just wanted you to explain to our viewers what the Vaikafe Ole Hangasala means.
It means what it means. Okay? Vaikafe Ole Hangasala, the waterfall of sinning. If you're sinning, come to me. I'll make it better.
He's the person to visit, guys. Yep. He's the person to take your problems to, and he'll help you get on a plan to manifest and to put action into that manifestation.
Absolutely.
So that you can achieve all of your great goals that you have going on for you. Now, how are you this morning?
I am really excited to be here. Thank you so much. I know my body language is a bit relaxed.
That's
right. That's a lovely, comfortable situation we've got going here.
We're both wearing green today.
I know. You know what that means?
Yep.
Peace.
And money.
And creativity.
And green.
And devil's lettuce. We can't say that on here. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah.
It's a massive privilege and an honor to just be on the show. I don't get interviewed much, so I'm very shy.
Really?
Yep.
Well, that's a shame.
Well, no, it's good. Keep me away from the interviews, please.
I'm so happy to have you on. Sorry Isua couldn't be here. He sent his love and his alofa to us this morning. But let's go straight into it.
Yeah, shout out to the bro Isua, coaching the All Blacks and the Tongan team and the Samoan team.
It's a hard job being Isua.
Absolutely.
It really is a hard
Shout
job.
Shout out the Ducks.
Amazing. So your new single, Siva Mai, can be found. We're going to put all the links and everything you need to access the song on this video. Tell us about it.
Okay, Siva Mai, we'll talk about the music first. There was a moment when I was trying to create a new song. Last time I dropped a song was Baby Hana, which was last year, which is based off a meme. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a very
awesome song.
Yeah.
Hey, I like the beat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so my goal was to start making more love songs. Just kind of listening to a lot of the older Samoan bands. I'm like, man, they wrote some really lovely poetic songs. And so as I was going through all of these old school songs, I came across Sipso.
Nice.
Teine Tama.
I'm
sure you know the one.
Of course. Ha 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 ha.
So I'm like, bro, the baddest intro out. Honestly.
The best laugh.
The baddest. I remember when I first heard that, I was like, bro, this dude is the man, bro.
That song's a banger, bro.
It's such a banger.
The guitar.
Yeah.
It's great.
And I came across that and I was like, man, how can I make the song like sexy, like real sexy? And so I took the Teine
Right. Tama, Siva Mai. Right, it's from that song. Oh, hell no. That's one of my favorite songs. Yeah. Just letting you know.
Thank you. Me too. My goal is to like sample it without it sounding like a sample. So in my song it goes, Teine, won't you? It goes down instead of going up. Siva Mai, same kind of, and I kind of keep his words in there.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that we acknowledge our Samoan artists who we grew up on. And
100.
So for me, I wanted to create a love song as well as, giving some light to people that I listened to growing up. And so Siva Mai was born.
Amazing.
And the genre is that's kind of what my favorite genre that I, kind of
Really?
Afro swing. Yeah, because I've done the reggaes.
Yep.
I've done the heavy metals. I've done the rap. Just not me. So
fair enough.
Moved over to the kind of Afro swing,
That's really cool. And I remember that time. It was like Zipso, Mr. T, Shy Guy, Nifoloa was coming out as well. Vanya Toloa.
Te Waka.
Bro.
UB40.
Bro.
Honorary Samoans, the UB40s.
It's going to be a really, really, really good episode because I can go into music for like this whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
perfect.
but you have a video clip as well.
Video clip.
Tell us about it.
The video clip was a banger. It was
Yeah.
such a piece of artwork.
I saw some of the photos, which
yeah.
we will be pulling up on Teresa's
Yes.
Plantation Conversation. It looks freaking awesome.
It was so good.
Yeah.
So I put the song forward for funding and it got picked up, which is the first time I've been picked up for funding after like 6-7 tries. Thank you to the funding body.
Can we call out the funding body? Nah, just kidding.
Shout out
Is it New
NZ
Zealand
on
on
Air
Air?
for funding my video.
Thank you, New Zealand on Air. I know it takes time to get through to you guys, but when we get it, we're thankful.
We're very thankful. So my first thought was like, I need to spend this well. I'm just going to give all of it to Samson. Caught up Samson Rambo.
Shout out to Samson Rambo.
Yeah, hard out. I worked with him at PMN for a bit, and I knew that he was a visionary and he puts a lot of effort into his work. And I wanted someone like that to, shoot my first real serious video clip.
Right. And he was on, he's been on a lot of work. He's done a lot of cool stuff. Like was he on Liliu?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
He
Fire him.
He possibly was.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
I think he was one of the producers for Liliu. Great film.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's been away from the music video game for a while, so I was really hoping that he wouldn't say no, but he was my first option, so I'm really glad that he said yes. And Therese, I don't know if you've heard the story, but Therese, me and her were working on a project together. She was locations, she's a bit of a bum boy, just, doing the bum boy jobs, and I was an actor, so superstar. And so me and her were chatting, and I found out she was a producer, and the same day that I met her, I got funding.
Amazing.
And so I was like, hey, look, you should produce my music video.
Yeah.
And she said yes, thinking that I was joking.
Yeah.
She got an email the week after that I was
nice.
serious. Yeah. And to this day, she's like, I don't know why I said yes to this project. I didn't really know who you were then, but yeah. Wow. She produced it. And, we had a lot of people jump on board. Everyone really went above and beyond when it came to shooting the music video, and they brought extra things.
Bro, I saw the cameras.
Extra hours,
My gosh.
extra gear.
Yeah.
Everyone was just really, I think everyone wanted to prove a point. Especially with Siva Mai, they wanted to prove a point that even with this funding, they can really make a good music video. So it was amazing. Shout out to Art Department, Tyra Patch, the boys on cams, Ryan, the gaffer, Spencer. We had Jimmy Best, focus puller, and his friend, I forgot her name, sorry. Makeup, Vix, very good makeup. Frankie, Lolo hair. Is that the right last name? Could be wrong. Frankie, on wardrobe. So for me, it was really important that we had a lot of, brown people behind this, behind the camera.
Sounds like a very collaborative workspace.
It was very much so. As an artist, it's important for me to let artists do their thing. So I pretty much told them we had a few concept ideas. I wanted to rob a bank. It was probably a bit too much admin. Yeah. So I told Samson, okay, this is we'll go with this concept. Tell everyone, do what they want to do. So I let everyone pretty much have free range.
Wow.
Yeah. Wardrobe, I gave free range. The cover art as well, shout out to Bryson Nike. He had free range as well. And it came out really well.
That is so cool. Can I just fist bump you there? Because, we need to change the industry. Usually video clips and all the stuff is really controlled, but to see and talk to an artist who actually gave creative control on different aspects of his art to other people who want opportunities, that's mean.
Of course. And that's why it's important to have a team who looks like you and, understands your view, because what's important to them, same as, it's important to you. So then they already understand the vision. Yeah. Especially art department, I didn't give nothing for art department. They just, all of the amazing setups they had.
Shout out to the art department. Yeah.
Shout out to Tyra Patch.
Tyra Patch Creative.
Tyra Patch Creative.
Could you tell us a bit about them?
Amazing bunch of people. They got a little space out in Pap, Old Pap, down the road from Dozena Bakery, if you know where that is.
Yes. I live in Pap.
The donut bakery, that's what we call it.
Yeah.
And so pretty much that space is important for people who are trying to get into just the artsy stuff, giving things a go. Yeah. And they've been real supportive. They even dressed my my release screening, which was great. Yeah, just because they wanted to.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. I'm very oh, sorry, I can't pay you guys. I don't have funding for that. They're like, no, we'll do it. So I'm like, yes.
That's so cool. And I'm just thinking when I was 13, because I love music too. One day I'll pursue it, just not now. I'm enjoying podcasting and what I'm doing right now. But thinking back when I was younger, I wouldn't know where to go. Yeah. Because you're I can't afford those big $10,000 cameras. Yes. So the Tyra Patch Creative is very much those people coming in to support projects or young creatives who don't know where to start, or do you reckon, or not really?
I think they focus a lot around like the crafting side of the industry, arts and crafts, you know, creating things with your hands, not so much the cameras, but like from my experience with them, it was a lot of artsy, crafty things, you know. And they have a lot of props, they do a lot of,
and the backdrops and everything.
Backdrops, yeah. I'm pretty sure they did a lot of work. I think Panthers.
Wow.
Panthers. They did heaps. That's the only one I remember.
Check them out. Taro Patch Creative. Yeah.
Shout out the gang. Shout out Ems. Shout out Esther.
I always got big love for people who share their gears.
Absolutely.
And who share their resources and stuff like that. Because it's not an easier, second fall belt. I need a buzzer for every time I fall belt. It's not easy to get access to that level of production, you know?
Absolutely.
So I'm super excited to see your Siva Mai
thank you.
Video clip.
Is your phone excited too?
Very excited. Guess who's texting? Shout out to Therese. Therese.
You already know that you sent me the invitation for this. You should know that we're in session right now. Just go away.
I love you, Therese. She's probably gonna watch this and be like, oh my gosh, these eggs.
She won't watch it. She's too busy. That's what she reckons.
She reckons, eh?
Yeah.
I'm gonna force her to watch it. For the eyeballs back.
Hurry up, girl.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
What is a quote that you live by? On the show in the morning, I like to give people something to think about, or just something to put their head in the right space. Mornings are chaotic for a lot of families. Yep. So is there something that, that's helped you in your life, whatever that may be? Quote saying, could be from anyone, from your mom, your dad, yourself. Yep. Yeah.
This quote's from my mom. She used to say it to me all the time as a kid. And it's Fa'amaoni me iti, e te pule me tele. I actually don't know how to translate it properly in English, but I just know what it means in Samoan.
In English, it means, I think, if you are honoring and being loyal to small things, then you can handle big things. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
That's all right.
I never bothered to translate it. Translate it. Because it has, I don't know, it feels more meaningful in Samoan to me.
Everything is so much more meaningful in Samoan, right?
Yeah.
But why does that have a special place in your heart?
Maybe because it's repeated like 10,000 times and it's the only one I remember.
Yeah.
I think also like it's quite important that we, especially at this day and age, we brush over a lot of things because we're just we live quite a quick lifestyle. So it's important that sometimes we pay dues and do the smaller things like doing your washing your dishes as soon as you finish eating.
Exactly. Yeah.
Clean your bed in the morning. Help start your day. So I think it's always a good reminder for me too.
Yeah.
Just,
It's the little things that matter.
Yeah.
It literally is the little things that matter.
I know, like, turning your phone to silent mode and...
Like, Therese!
Who's producing the show? It's Messi.
He's a producer. We're using him for this one.
I'm really ruthless as a producer now. I'm all good. It's all good.
But like in saying that, with the quote that you mentioned,
yes.
And how you're saying it's the little things that count. Now you're having a launch, right? In that journey of creating the song, creating the launch, people are obviously going to see the end result, which is like, oh, these kids are partying it up. Yeah. They got a mean venue. They're drinking. They got cool clothes on. Yeah. That's the good product that you get out of everything. But would you say it's the most important part of your journey is the launch, the video clip, and everything that everyone else sees? Because there's probably some things you went through alone that no one knows. Yeah. And it's not to be celebrated, but it was part of the journey. What do you reckon?
That's such a good question, by the way. Personally, the screening, the launch, even the song dropping is not the most important part. The most important part is getting it out of your computer, getting it away from you. So I have a ton of like songs where it's just verse, chorus, and that they've just stayed in the laptop. And I know most artists can attest to that. Like there's just some things, if you don't get it out, it'll stay there forever. So one of the hardest parts for me was that I actually don't know how people will take Siva Mai because it sounds contemporary. It sounds like commercial music, but it's using Samoan language. And I also wrote most of that first verse minus the little words and melodies I took from Sipso. So for me, like I'm nervous because my Samoan isn't as good as I like I'd like it to be.
And Samoans are very critical.
Very critical. They'd be like, why did they say it like that?
I don't think we can ever change that critical behavior or attitude we give to people. We just got to deal with it, eh? Yeah.
And so I think the hardest part of Siva Mai specifically was convincing myself that actually the song's a banger. Like, it's mean. Like, let it out. If people are going to critique it, it's okay. Because, like, I need to validate my own self with, like, how Samoan I am. Because that's always a conversation that comes up, like, how Samoan are you?
Yep.
Are you Samoan enough? Which is, come on, guys.
It's 2023.
That's an old chat. It's old chat.
It's 2023. You don't got to revoke people of their Samoan. Who gave you the job?
I know.
To revoke people's Samoan's card. Yeah. Samoan card.
Is that your job? No. In saying that, though, like, it doesn't take away the importance of having something like a screening or something like a drop, because I've never done a screening up until this point, because I feel like music should speak for itself.
Super important to have a screening. We get to celebrate all the hard work.
Yeah.
And like, for Islanders, we kind of feel like stink celebrating, especially if it's you. Like, have you ever had a birthday you didn't want?
I don't like birthdays.
I don't celebrate.
As an adult,
I don't celebrate birthdays, but I love other people's birthdays.
Yes, I agree.
It's like, who's got the cake? Like, I'm keen because I'm keen to go and create a cake for this person.
Oh, see, you're nice. I'll just show up.
Who's
got the cake? Who's got the cake that I can eat?
I left my smoke somewhere.
I'm that guy. I'm the fuck old Bucky guy.
Oh, yeah. Where's your card guy?
Where's your cuddles?
As Islanders, we often feel like it's wrong to celebrate ourselves.
Right.
Because we're about the collective. We're like, now we celebrate together. Like, look at the parades, man.
Yeah.
It's not about one person. It's like everyone. All of us going out there. So how do you deal with that?
I don't deal with it very well, to be honest.
Really?
When you grow up in a home and it's kind of like, you can't be too loud about your accomplishments.
Yes, you'll be humble straight away.
You got to be humble. Like, hey, sit down. You got to be humble. So growing up into like, when you grow up and you become an adult and you're like trying to celebrate your wins, you always feel a bit of like, you're a bit ma, because you're like, oh, I'm proud, but like, I don't want to be too proud, because it's kind of like...
my second cousin over there looks at me, he's like, look at him, he's showing off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way I deal with it is like, I'll just celebrate myself, away from the spotlight and stuff. And then I also celebrate the people who help me along.
Amazing.
But I always make sure that I try my best to celebrate everyone, not just me.
Yes.
Yeah. And saying that, though, that's kind of that culture. Like, if you look at the difference between America and like New Zealand, so to say, just as an example, they're so... We feel like they're arrogant because they're so confident in themselves. Like, yeah, celebrate me.
And then I was
celebrate
watching a
me.
video and they were like, oh, New Zealanders have like no, like,
you're gonna say backbone.
Yeah.
I think New Zealanders have backbones. We're just like overly humble. And tall poppy is a conversation that happens all the time. But the issue with tall poppy is that everyone has tall poppy syndrome. They just don't want to admit it. They want to say other people have tall poppy. I'm like, yeah, but you do too.
Yeah. That's so true. Yeah. And imposter syndrome. Is tall poppy the same as imposter syndrome?
No.
Tall poppy is looking down on others, eh?
Yeah, or kind of like, oh, he's doing too good. We need to like stop supporting him now.
Do you really believe everyone has that though?
To an extent, yes.
To an extent, yeah.
Because there's always someone you don't like. And if you see them doing well, you have this little bone inside you like, okay, let's see how far you go then, eh? Let's see how far you go then.
Yeah.
So anyone who denies that, I reckon, is, not being honest with themselves. But it's part of being, I think it's part of being human. Like, I don't think it's something we should shy away from, but it is important to open the conversation of being self-aware that you're being like that.
Yeah.
Because there's been a lot of times where I find these people that I don't like doing really well.
Yeah.
And then, I'll be like, oh, stink.
Yeah.
So I have to remind myself, actually, you should be happy for their success. You don't have to be friends with them. You don't have to like them. At least wish them happy success, Yeah.
No, that's cool. But at least you have that part of your brain telling yourself that. Because some people are unaware and operate that way.
Yeah, you got to try your best to be self-aware. It's a hard thing to do. And even myself, I'm not the best at it. But it's all about trying.
Yo.
Yeah.
It's all about trying, guys.
It's definitely all about trying. You can do it.
We'll be right back. Cool. Sorry, I have to learn how to segue something. I wanted to ask you a question.
Yes.
You're in the creative scene. You're literally like an entrepreneur, a creative artist. You don't have any hobbies because I asked you before what your hobby was. You said it was eating. So that's basic means of survival. But
No, it's a
food
hobby.
is great. It's not?
To me, eating is a hobby. I grew up wanting to be a chef. It didn't
Interesting.
happen. My dad said it's not a job for me.
Why?
I shouldn't tell the truth. My dad might get cancelled. But no. Like I wanted to be a chef. It didn't work out that way. I ended up becoming like a recording artist and radio host. But something about food is my happy place, and I'm pretty sure a lot of Samoans or islanders can feel the same way about food. So for me, it's important to go out and try different foods.
Yeah.
And that's it. For me, it's a hobby. I'll purposely drive somewhere just to try the food.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Like I'll drive to Rose Hill, which is out like Pukekohe.
Yeah.
Just to
Just to
try
get something
Captain
nice.
Kai Moana.
I have to try that.
Great.
Are they good?
They're great. Great seafood there.
Raw seafood?
And cooked.
And cooked?
It was power fries. I don't even like power.
I've never tasted power.
Very good.
And I just
on the
recently
fries.
found out people eat power.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Oh, I knew people ate it. I never knew what it tasted like, but we used to have heaps of power shells at home.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what are these
Oh,
random...
in the garden and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the milk
Ashtrays.
bottles. Yeah.
Smoking. Not my future.
Nature. Bring it here.
Yeah.
Lazy butt.
More nature on top of it. Synthesized nature. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's all right.
Yeah.
So, your dad is a whaiwhao.
Yeah.
We'll clear that out of the air.
Yeah.
So you're a pastor's kid,
Yes.
which is a very unique lived life experience.
I don't feel that way.
You didn't feel that way?
No, I feel like I've met a ton of PKs out there, and I don't know if people like being called PKs, but
Yeah.
it's a very much shared experience. Every time I've spoken to someone who was a whaiwhao's kid, and it's always the same conversation. It's like there's such a high expectation for people to do well or like to
Right.
be perfect. Hence the saying, like there's two types of whaiwhao's kids, good and bad.
Right.
Yeah. And my poor dad got all the bads.
I was gonna say, like, what do they think about your current creative journey?
They
Because
love it.
island parents are always like making sure their kids look good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
They're supportive. A lot of the content, maybe not. I am a bit problematic for the most part. But when it comes to things like my music, they're just happy to see me creating. It might not be church music, which some of my family just like, you need to do church songs. Why are you doing these songs about girls? Like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
It's just like what I feel in the moment, and I'll write a song. It's not necessarily what I'm aiming to do all the time. But specifically to my dad, because I had a pretty hearty upbringing, raised the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Used to get the hidings.
Right.
And the type of hidings that we would sit around a campfire and see who got the worst.
Right.
Yeah.
Would you call it?
There's discipline, and then there's hidings, and most of the time, mine were discipline. There was a few times where I got hidings, but when I look back in hindsight, it's very much like deserved.
Right.
I was a bit of a little.
Yeah. I look back often as well, and
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I deserved every hiding and growling that I got.
Every
growing up.
hiding?
Every.
No.
I reckon. For me personally.
Yeah. No. Shout out my mom. She used to get bored and slap me for something, Make me a boogie. Like, that didn't need a slap, mom. I would never say that. I'll just say it under my breath. But
I have a question for you. Should hidings come back?
absolutely.
And
Well, let's be careful on this question. Discipline should come back at least. And not to the extent that people think it is. Because when you say discipline should come back, they're like, oh, he wants people to give massive ass smashes. Where I think like just a simple form of discipline should come back. Because I am seeing a lot of my younger generation, like nephews, nieces, just ruthless.
yeah.
Just because they've never got a slap on the face before, In saying that though, like a lot of people will take that out of context because their line is blurred between what discipline is and what abuse is. Do you know?
That's. I was gonna go into the rabbit hole with you. Would you mind me going into the rabbit hole with you?
Of course.
So, what your definition or measurement of abuse? When does that cross over with discipline?
I reckon it crosses over real early. Like discipline needs to be like, firstly, the reason of disciplining should be useful. Like it shouldn't be something silly.
Yep.
And I don't want to give people reasons or like tell you what a reason should and shouldn't be. But in my personal opinion, I just feel like it doesn't take much for discipline to turn into abuse, which is the fine line, So in saying that hidings should come back, I don't think they should come back in that sense, but there needs to be some form of discipline, you know, maybe not smacking bums, because I don't know how,
Yeah.
you know, useful that is, but definitely some sort of discipline. Hidings for me though, when I look back, like, man, it was sore.
Yeah.
But it was useful for, you know.
Me too. I look back, I'm not going to encourage people to give their kids
No.
hidings, but it worked for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know how well that'll work on.
Yeah.
Especially this newer generation. Not saying they're bad. Great generation. Lovely, aspiring, very creative generation.
Yeah.
Who have a lot of support for their dreams. But I don't know how it would rub off on them.
See, to contradict myself, I do say that disciplining needs to come back. But I don't discipline my daughter. Like, I don't smack her. Yeah. I kind of believe my parenting approach is to, like, sit her down, talk her through a mistake. And if she understands it, then good. And if she doesn't, I'll make sure she understands what mistake she made. Only because I never had that approach as a kid. It was just, you're wrong.
Exactly.
Here's
Shut up. You don't have feelings.
Pretty much. Yeah, I used to get mean ass hidings, and I talk about it all the time. And most of the time it was warranted. Like, I would be talking back or, you know, swearing at someone or mocking people in front of all the 5Ls. Yeah, so, you know, deserved hidings. But it does, as much as I appreciate it, it does bring back trauma, like, which is also not a good reason to bring hidings back. But there's still some form of discipline that does need to come back. How that looks, I'm not going to say. But I think some form of it needs to. Which, to be honest, I think it's still here because some people still get hidings. Yeah, just secretly.
And I think also, like, secretly.
Yeah.
I also think, like, when our parents came, it was kind of like on the go. Like, they're learning how to, like, adjust to New Zealand society.
Yeah.
So we kind of didn't have the space to talk about our feelings or have proper communication methods for our kids to ensure that they understand the why behind everything.
Absolutely.
Because someone's always taught, do it, or why, or how we do it, or what to do. Yeah. But we're very often spoken to on why we do things. Yeah. And it's that confusion, in my experience, that gets us a bit confused in the Western world. We're like understanding the why, the purpose, the vision. And so your dad just found out today. Yeah. How are you managing that?
Horribly.
Tell us, how horrible is it?
I manage being a dad terribly. I spend a lot of time working on projects, and if I do have my daughter, I'll just take her with me on whatever project that I'm doing. So there's kind of ups and downs during the year when, you know, with work. So normally if there's kind of like a few weeks where I have nothing on, then it's great. We spend the weekend mucking around, eating places, driving, you know, wasting money. And then there's other kind of weekends where if I need to work, if I don't leave her with her mom, then I'll like have to take her with me on like a shoot or to an event, which for me, you know, looking into it more in depth, it's probably not good. Like I
don't think that's horrible.
I just feel like parents need to spend like quality time with their kids, away from work, away from stuff. Because my daughter knows my work. You know, she'll know my songs because she's sitting there on her iPad listening to me make songs, or she's sitting there watching me create videos and stuff. So to an extent, I'm happy that she gets to see me in a creative space, but very rarely does she see me outside of that because I'm so fixated. So I say horrible because it could be a lot better. Yeah. That
makes sense.
Yeah.
I think it's good when parents take their kids around to work stuff. Yeah. But that's just me personally.
Yeah. Yeah. To add like an extra layer, like me and my daughter's mom are separated, so we have obviously time. Like we have to. She's got time with her mom. She's got time with me. So most of the time she's with me, I'm working. You know, whereas I could be making a bit of effort to save that time for her and do stuff with her.
Yeah.
And hence why I say horrible. Like just managing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But her name is Ping, right?
Yes, her nickname is Ping. In Tongan, her nickname is Bito, which means belly button.
Oh, true.
Yeah, it was one day her nana was changing her nappy and then her belly button fell out. And she was like, oh, look at Bito. And we thought it was so funny, so we call her Bito. Yeah. But her real name is Serenity Jane.
Serenity. Oh, beautiful name.
Yeah. So Serenity named after the prayer, the Serenity prayer.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Serenity Ping, aka
Listen
Ping.
In class, eh?
You're the best, and maybe one day she'll watch this and be like, Look at this rude dude.
Why is guy talking about me?
Nah, just kidding. Oh, she's awesome.
I try to. I love giving things a go. Hence why last year I tried giving wrestling a go.
Yes.
I tried doing bodybuilding. Ruthless, by the way, bodybuilding. It's such a high.
Did you take steroids?
No. I took taro.
Same thing. Samoan steroids.
Yeah, that was my carb source for ages. No, bodybuilding is very hard. Like, there's not a lot of return. You know, you go, you do a competition, you win a tub of protein and a medal. There's no money, but you're spending day in, day out watching what you eat, going to the gym, dedicated hours, you know. Like, I got body dysmorphia last year.
Shit.
From trying to be a bodybuilder. And I say that very loosely, trying to be a bodybuilder. I just wanted to get massive, as every other Samoan guy wants to be. Just huge for no reason.
Yeah,
you know? But I developed body dysmorphia. Just like every time I looked in the mirror, I was like, oh,
wow.
I need to get bigger.
I thought men's might be a bit misogynist. Oh, no. Yeah, so just... No, what's when... Misandry, eh? Misandrist. But I thought men don't get body dysmorphia.
Men do. Men just don't talk about it. And they joke about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I realized it because there was a point in time when everyone was like, man, you're huge. And I'd look in the mirror and I wouldn't see it. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm tiny. And looking back at the photos from last year, I'm like, oh, shucks, I was pretty massive. Why was I so worried? Like, why was I so concerned? But it's because, especially with like trying to build a physique, you're constantly looking at yourself every day, like, cool, you need to work on this, need to work on this, need to work on this, to the point where every intricate detail of your body is like not good enough. Like, oh, arms too small, okay, work on arms tomorrow. Oh, back's too small, work on back. So then you develop this hidden dysmorphia. You say you're trying to build, you just don't realize that you're in a cycle.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did you overcome that?
I stopped trying to gain mass and I try to cut. And cutting weight is horrible because you've spent so much time eating as much food as you can in one day. When you start cutting, you kind of get really like... Yeah. So...
Interesting. So you're not going to pursue that anymore, or is it just something you're doing slowly?
I don't think I'll pursue it as like...
Professionally?
No. But I would love to try and get back into gym because I'd like traumatized from it. I've been off for like 2 months now. I was in there for like 2-3 hours every single day.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
We have a gym downstairs. We
True
all signed
Women's?
up. No, it's Fika gym.
Oh, Fika?
Fika, literally down there. We all went and signed up all together, New Year spirit. And
you can do it. It's good for the routine.
I'm trying. It's so hard. I need your help.
Yes.
I cannot for the life of me convince myself to go to the gym.
Oh, you're asking the wrong person.
And I hate, oh, really?
Yeah. Because the way I spoke to myself last year to get myself going to the gym was not good.
Like how not good?
Like I would just look in the mirror and be like, you want to look like that, eh? All goods. Then I would be driving to work. Then I'll just go gym.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of, I was just being mean to myself, even at the gym.
I think that's my problem.
I was like, come on, you little weakling.
Yeah, that's my...
Come on, bro. You're useless. You know, and then you're like,
And then you go home and you're supposed to feel good about it, right?
And I would. Like, I would go home and be like, man, I feel great. And then the next day it starts again. Oh, I feel inflated.
Yeah.
I feel deflated. And so I'm like, back to the gym I go. And it just becomes a cycle of like, not good enough. So I would not recommend talking badly of yourself. Because that was my,
that's it.
Yeah. I think if you just think of like your future, I know it's like, but if you think of like just your life, you want to live long, you should probably look after your health. Yeah. My knees are bad now from last year. Overloading, too much weight, not looking after my body. So
that's problem. Oh, not overloading, but like that's a problem I would like to have.
What?
Is trauma of the gym.
It's true. Like my knees are very bad.
Yeah.
I was trying to be squat master last year. Not good.
What gym were you at?
I was at Flex Fitness.
Is out west?
No, I'll tell you. Oh, there's one out here. There's one out west. There's
Oh, yeah.
one and at Manurewa. It's very expensive. I would, if you're not a big time baller like me, I wouldn't.
Oh, yeah, because I just donate to gyms for fun.
Electricity.
Yeah.
You and everyone else in my family, I know that for sure.
They really enjoy me and Daisy's donations.
They need it.
Yeah.
They need it to stay afloat. Yeah.
Exactly. I boost myself up by negative self-talk.
Yeah.
But it's good for me. Like, I've learned to thrive off it.
Yeah.
I've got to change it now. With the gym. Only with the gym. Yeah.
Because that's how we all grew up, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like it is a bit problematic. That's all. But the hardest thing about gym is eating. And I know people say that heaps. It's actually the hardest part of
I've clocked my eating.
Good.
So I've lost like 20 kgs since probably about a year or 8 months to a year ago.
Nice.
But that was just me eating. I do intermittent fasting.
Right.
And then all I eat is mostly, sometimes I have coffee here and there, is just meat and veggies.
Nice.
I cut off carbs as a whole.
Good.
And I just lost weight so fast.
See, you're ready on your way there.
It's my fitness. I need to get my fitness on the roll.
Well, you got your 80%. You just need your 20% now. 80% is all diet, 20% is kind of like working out.
Okay, that made me feel better.
Yeah. Hit half an hour a day. Half an hour a day is all you need. I don't know, do like some running or some cardio.
Okay.
I don't do cardio, so sorry.
I hate cardio. I hate running.
Just try though.
Yeah. Okay. I want to try to be positive with the gym.
Yes.
I'll change my mindset. Welcome back to our Pacific Morning Show. We are here with the Western Guide. We've had some pretty much we've talked about a lot of things.
Yeah.
We've gone from the gym to being a PK.
Yep.
Not a papukam. Not a what does PK stand for anyways? I was told by my uncle that PK stands for papukam. Okay. So until someone corrects me,
do not listen to anything your Samoan uncle tells you. Even I know that because I'm that Samoan
uncle now. Then tell me what
now.
PK stands for then. Tell me what PK stands for.
Peppermint Kings.
So smack.
No, PK is the owner. His name's...
true.
I don't know. I had no idea, man.
PK, papukam, easier.
Yeah.
Papukam,
Yeah.
however you want to call it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's okay. You can just keep saying the whole interview PK like that.
What he said.
Yeah.
So we've gone from talking about PKs, being a dad, being in the industry. I want to talk about like your big dreams because I have a fascination with minds. I like how minds work. I like how people think. I like how they respond to things and just how they process thoughts. So with you, using your hobbies and making them into things that you're actually working now as projects, how has that been for you? And what is the dream for you? Like, you're doing so many things. And we talked earlier and you said you're using this name for this project and this stuff for your video side.
Yeah.
What is the ultimate, like, what's the ultimate goal for you?
My main goal, and this is one that I always tell myself, is that I want my daughter to look back at what I've done and be like, wow, he really chased his dream, you know? And so to the point of no compromise, like I had a lot of self-doubt coming up as a kid, you know, growing up. But I've gone to the point where like my dream is to, firstly, I want people to remember my name. That's it. You hear my name, be like, yeah, I know what he did. So it's a legacy thing, right? But I have a lot of different things, a lot of different spaces that I'd like to be a part of. Music, acting, voice acting, you know, and I would like all of those to live in their separate respected like spaces. So I'd like people to remember me as the Western Guide in the music space, and then for acting, you know, just to be Aaron, and even like voice acting and things like that. I'd love to direct.
Nice.
I have a plan when I turn 35. I'm gonna make a documentary about my life because it's very dramatic. Yeah, I had a very dramatic, like even to right now. Yeah. Like 26. So by the time I'm 35, a lot more is gonna happen, and I'd love to write a movie about it. Yeah. And just tell like an unfiltered truth.
Mean.
You know, and just shout out to my family. They're about to get exposed. they got to watch out, because what happens in the next few years is going to be written down as a script. Then
Is this your public proclamation for them to treat you nicely?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyone who comes across me, be nice to me, because you'll be included in the movie if you're not.
Yeah.
I'll highlight all the bad stuff that happened to me. But that's the dream. The dream is to, I know people say be happy, and that's a very stupid answer, because what? Be happy? But I do want to be happy in the sense that, like, success, I've achieved the success to a certain point where I can be content with.
Right.
Because there's a thing where people are chasing they're just chasing their dream so much that they forget to live the dream.
In the moment.
In the moment.
Yeah.
And that's me. Like, I'm so focused on what the next move is. Like, I forget that I'm a recording artist, that people recognize me as a recording artist, or like as an actor, or as a radio person, whatever. You know, meet people and they're like, wow, can I take a photo? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Who am I? So it's important that if you are going down whatever industry you're in, that even though you're so hungry and you're chasing the dream, it's important to just live it as well. Stay in your moment, you know, own your moment as well, because no one's going to do it for you.
Exactly.
Like, no one's going to come out and be like, man, I love the Western guy. He's the best thing ever. Because there's going to be people who support you, but no one's going to support you like you support yourself.
Right.
So the dream, so to say, is just to make sure that I'm keeping myself accountable and having fun. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Life's way too short to do boring stuff.
Yeah.
Try everything. That's what I like to think.
Yes, try everything.
Try everything.
That's something I always tell people. Try everything, even if you don't have to monetize everything, but try it.
Try it. You're going to be useless
You might like it,
You're going to be useless at a lot of them. Just try it. Yeah. Like, I just picked up a camera last month.
Right.
And I love it. I don't
and
know
you did
how
wrestling
I don't know how
and
good it might be.
bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And both not too bad at both of them either. You know, I could be a wrestler. I might go back this year, but again, it was just because I gave it a shot. I could still be a chef if I wanted to.
Yes.
So, you know, there's always this thing of like, choose your career and chase it, which I believe in. But also feel free to like try other things, because you never know what your true calling is.
Exactly.
Even if you think you found it.
Have you found many people like yourself in the industry?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The industry is riddled with people who are multi-talented and
they just want to do everything and
want to
create.
do everything. Or just have fun.
Yeah.
And I found that that's the most, like, that's the common denominator when it comes to creatives, is like, I just want to do something that's fun. So it shows that none of us are, you know, want to sit down in front of a computer and like,
exactly.
Because our brains are not wired that way. There's certain people who are wired that way and enjoy doing stuff like that, admin, and, you know, so shout outs to them as well. I just cannot be in that space for very long. Yeah, I worked in call centers before. It's great.
Not the fake Karen voice, eh?
I have a very good fake Karen voice. Yeah.
Do you want to demonstrate us your Karen voice? I will be your customer.
What's my company? I'll be the receptionist, for Blue Wave.
I'll be kicking.
Yeah.
Nah, hello.
Good morning, Blue Wave. Aaron speaking. How can I help?
I think I have the wrong company. You know why?
K-Law. K-Law, you know, I can change it up straight away. What do you want?
Nah, most of our customers are like Samoan.
Are they?
Or they literally call and they just speak straight in Samoan.
Just have a conversation.
Yeah, have a conversation.
So you'd say, Talo for Blue Wave.
Talo for Blue Wave.
Look at that.
And then hopefully have some lessons trying to teach myself Samoan while speaking to our customers as well.
Sweet. You'll be sweet. That's how you learn.
Yeah.
At the call center, I learned how to deal with angry people who just yell at you.
I know. It's like,
just
wow.
Hello, and then you're like, Rah! Right, I'm not talking to you. And I almost got fired for that. I was like, I'm not talking to you until you calm down.
Yeah.
You just tell me to calm down. Let me speak to your manager. Yeah, you can speak to my manager when you calm down. And my manager's like, you shouldn't be saying that. You need to de-escalate it better.
Shout out to the call centers. I do not miss those jobs at all.
I kind of do. I could talk
do you
about
actually?
I've worked a lot of jobs, and it's not because I'm super talented. It's just because I have really bad work ethic. And I got fired from a lot of places. I worked in a call center. I worked in a kitchen. I've worked as a construction worker, laborer, demolition worker.
Yeah.
Wine delivery guy. I used to fix the doorknobs for hotels.
Wow. So you have a wide range of experience.
Yep. Again, it's not because I'm very talented.
I would be so intimidated by your CV right now.
I'd keep a lot of them off because it's been there for a month. Pick up all the skills I need and then gap it. Yeah. When I was young, I just couldn't be bothered. I'll just wake up on a Monday. I'm like, I'm too tired, and I'll call in sick. You know, and then just you can't come back.
I can relate to a lot to what you're saying.
Yeah.
I've had 50 million jobs too.
Yeah.
Just tried it, hated it, left, tried it, hated it. But probably my favorite one, I have not been a good employee in the past. I used to work at a hotel.
Yeah.
And I had my dream job. I was a waitress.
Wow.
I know, right? At 21.
And how did you find it?
I was like, wow, look at me. Like, I'm a waitress at this hotel in Mangele, where we serve so many birthdays.
I know which one that is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, you know which hotel it is?
Yeah, I'm going to have a wild guess, but it's Naomi.
Close. Right across from Naomi.
Oh, the
Holiday
green one.
Inn.
Holiday Inn.
Shout out to Holiday Inn. I'm sorry for all
now.
my wrongs that I've done at that job.
All good.
Shout out to Vikash and Harish for dealing with me and my...
And you remember all the names?
I remember all the names. I'll never forget. I told you I got my dream job at 21. I was a waiter. So I was like, I'm going to work my way up and start organizing these events. I'm going to do all these cool things. But like, when you're young, I didn't care. I was just like, I'm here to learn. But I didn't really. But now I'm like 28, I think, or 29. I'm kind of like, now I care more about my work. But I don't know why. But before, I didn't really give a shit about
Maybe
my
it's
work.
because now we really pay real bills. Back then,
We're
you
adults now.
could be all right. Well, mom, dad, sorry, I got no board this week. But, nowadays, you can't just say that.
That's so true.
You've got to actually make sure you pay your rent or
If
your
I'm not
outs.
paying my rent, I'm out.
Yeah.
The roof is gone.
Yeah, well, I'm all right for now, but I'm sweet. I've moved back in with the oldies, my grandparents.
Oh, cool.
It's great.
How's that been?
They've turned me into a spoiled little brat all over again.
Oh, you're lucky.
Just show up home. Where's the food, Grandma? Oh, I haven't made it yet. Oh, how come?
This is not a good example.
Entitlement,
of what you should
okay?
be.
I blame them. They've made me comfortable.
Yeah, I do miss that. But like, I'm living on my own now with my daughter. Yeah. And I miss Nana's foods, like
absolutely
the cooking.
Yeah. Shout out my Nana.
I should have learned how to cook.
It's never too late.
Yeah.
I tell this to people all the time. All it is a couple YouTube videos. Don't watch any of Gordon or Jamie stuff. Yeah. Too complicated. Find someone easy. Yeah.
YouTube
and then just
University
practice.
is the best.
Just practice. I've never seen YouTube University, but.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not like learning from
YouTube.
Yes. Yeah.
I was like, I've never seen that page before. I was like, what is that page?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be going on YouTube.
I've learned a lot from YouTube. Like,
really?
Because I was never an audio engineer. So when I got the job at New FM, they gave me a position of audio engineer. They're like, you can do this, right? I'm like, yeah. No.
Yeah.
So what I need to do, I need to make 3 ads, cool, sweet ads. And then I'll be at home like on YouTube. Like, I don't even know what this button does. And then I just taught myself. And I convinced him that I was an audio engineer.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I learned how to record, do music and stuff through YouTube as well.
Yeah.
How to edit your own vocals.
Amazing.
I'm learning how to do videography through YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to YouTube University. I'm telling people.
Yeah. I went to Yale actually.
And Juilliard as well?
Yeah, the Samoan Juilliard. Yeah. Taught how to.
I wish there was a Samoan Juilliard.
It can happen.
It should.
Yeah. You can start it.
You can do it.
Me? Yeah. I don't know music theory.
Neither do I.
Whenever I see a treble clef, I'm like, yeah. See you later, buddy.
What, when did you start making treble clef?
When did I learn about treble clef?
No. When did you start making music on digital audio workstations? And what was your first DAW?
First DAW was Fruity Loops. I'm going to give you
although that was extremely freaking hard to use.
I hate
what the hell? You open the program and you're like, well...
Spaceship.
Yeah, what is happening right now?
Has a little...
Why did you use Fruity Loops? Was it the easiest to download back then?
No, it's because my cousin who was making music at the time.
Yeah.
That was his DAW. So I was like, I'll just jump on that. And so I tried it and I was like, man, this sucks. Yeah. So I moved to GarageBand. And then I was on GarageBand for a very long time. I wrote a lot of my songs on GarageBand. And then I've moved over to Logic Pro now.
Logic Pro is good.
Yeah. So
it's very similar to GarageBand.
It's just the older brother. It's just
like
more features, more plugins and things like that. I've tried using Pro Tools, but I use Pro Tools for work, for audio stuff, like production work. But I cannot use it for music. I just don't understand it.
Neither.
Yeah.
I think, I'm the same. The two that I know how to use is Fruity Loops. Yeah. Well, not so much anymore because that was a long time ago for me. And GarageBand. Yeah. Which is awesome.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Yeah.
Great software. Does a lot of work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. especially if you know how to use presets. Again, YouTube.
YouTube University, guys.
YouTube.
I have an entire archive of like how I learned as well.
Do you?
So I like
Do
copy
you
and paste
archive
it.
it?
Yeah.
Ah.
I copy and paste like the videos where I learned how to like just connecting your freaking devices, man, was hard for me.
Very organized.
I like to believe I am too,
Mm.
but I'm probably not.
I just remember, like, oh yeah, I remember that was Russian hacker guy. He taught me how to do that, and then I'll just go to their page.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right.
Anybody remember a crazy Russian hacker dude who used to do dumb
No.
experiments? No?
No.
Oh, right.
Was he one of the old YouTube?
Yeah, he was problematic. He used to just do experiments and hurt himself all the time. But I learned a lot of don't do's from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least you learned something from him.
Hey, I've been on
really
YouTube since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I've been on YouTube for a long time, so I grew up with.
Actually, were you like one of the old channel? Because remember how it was like Bebo YouTube?
I just missed out Bebo. I had like 3 Bebo pages because I never remember the password, but I wasn't like in there.
Yeah.
I just knew you could change the skin. You could have best friends or whatever. What do you call them?
Yeah, best friends.
Yeah, you could send
You can
hearts.
give hearts to people and
You could have theme music.
Yeah. Background, wallpaper, and everything. But around that time, YouTube was slowly surfacing as well.
So YouTube was starting up and Facebook was starting up. That was my introduction into internet. And since then, like, it's grown exponentially. It's so important to, like, from something that was, it's become one of the most important things for like work, everything, music, just every industry is utilizing internet. And without it, I reckon people will struggle.
100.
Yeah, even just your everyday person who sits on TikTok for 3 hours.
That could be me.
Get off.
That could be me too.
That's why they know everything you're doing in your life because you're searching it up on TikTok.
Yep.
Yeah.
Apparently, like TikTok is like the new search engine as well. Over
Pretty
Google.
much. I do it sometimes when I need to find a hot topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people will be talking about something that happened and be like straight to TikTok.
Yeah. Great bunch of hot takes on there.
Okay. Who's agreeing? Who's disagreeing?
Yeah. Boy, it was so good to talk to you.
Thank
You're
you
such
so
a chill
much.
person.
Yeah.
I didn't come across many people like you.
It's probably for the best.
Probably. No,
Probably for the best. Yeah.
Nah, like you do everything. Like I like that you're open to just trying things out, giving new things a go.
Yeah.
Just having like not thinking too much about it. Like, oh, if I have to go down the singing pathway, everyone's gonna look. But you try everything. Yeah. You're very you got an entrepreneurial spirit.
I try. Like no one's perfect, and I appreciate you saying that too. You know, there's obviously moments where I have my downfall. There's things that I do that I'm like, diva. But for the most part, I think it's important to remember that you're gonna suck, and if you can't like get over that fact, then you're gonna struggle. Yeah. Like there's a lot of things I suck at. Now, I still think I suck at singing to an extent, but that's just self-doubt. You know, so
it's hard for people to get over that lump though.
Of course.
Because for me, I'll admit, I only got over that lump when I had a kid.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that could change me. But if I was to think back, I was like, if I didn't have a kid and I was like, nah, you're good at it, I wouldn't be able to convince myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just have to like, well, and the thing is, if you suck, you suck. You got to like, cool, on to the next thing. Yeah. And I feel like people do struggle with just like admitting firstly that they suck and secondly, like just accepting that fate.
Yeah.
You know, and if you don't want to accept it, then keep trying. You know, you will get better. But if you just accept that you suck, then move on.
Yeah. Then you have the really good humans that you all know you suck, but you're gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
And you're just like, we'll get better.
Yeah. And one thing as well, like, and this has been my motto the last few years, is like, no one's gonna believe in you until you believe in yourself. Like, no one wanted me to go to radio school. My grandparents were like, "What the heck is this?" And my dad was also like, "Oh, I don't know about that one, eh?" And over time, you know, now that I am in radio and I am doing music, they're like, man, like, I can't believe you have a job where you go to work and you come home before lunchtime. And my granddad's like, man, I'd love to have a job like that.
That's a dream for them.
And so they believe it now. But before that, like, I moved to Tauranga for 6 months to pursue the dream. And no one was like, not as supportive as they could have been. But definitely, like, you know, believe in yourself first and just know when to admit that you suck.
Yo.
Yeah.
Learn to admit when you suck.
Yeah. Something that took me very long to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any last words for our viewers before?
I think those would be my last words.
I was literally gonna like segue this out and I was like, and that's your tea for the morning.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just enjoy life. What you're doing is not going to be the same as what someone else is doing. So don't like base that how someone else is doing against yourself. You know? Shout out to Samoan parents who've made that a thing of comparing kids. Please stop.
It's part of our social family
Please
dynamics.
Stop. Come on, guys. I know that Darren's a lawyer. I'm not going to be a lawyer. I can't read that well.
Exactly.
Yeah, but like, yeah, enjoy life. Like, be serious about what you love, but also
be serious about what you love. I love that.
Be serious. Yeah, be serious about what you love and just chill out. Like, and also don't give yourself to everyone. That's something important. Everyone allows too much access to themselves, you know?
Yeah.
So I think to certain people, just close it off. Not everyone needs your whole person. Be selective with who you allow energy.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, The Western Guide.
No, thank you so much for having me here, you know? I really appreciate the platform and just the conversation. It's been really good. It's important to have, you know, conversations between people like us, because it's conversations that need to be had with,
Absolutely.
you know, Islanders, Samoans.
Yeah. And I can definitely say, like, if I was 13, I wish I could have this kind of content to listen to.
Of course. Same.
Because at 13, I was like, you know, wanting to be a waiter, wanting to do music at the same time, but there was no one to go to. Yeah. Or something to listen to be like, oh, and he's saying that this about the industry, like something to learn. Yeah. But well done on your work.
Thank you so much.
We're so blessed and honored to have you on the show. Yeah. We wish you well on your journey.
Thank you.
We can see a lot of positive things coming out of your future. But we are going to play for our viewers your new song.
Hey guys, enjoy. If you have any words of critique, send them through. I love it. Send me some hate. It's all right.
Send them hate.
Ofatu.
Good morning.
Oh, my phone, oi, baby. Won't sleep the same again. Said running through my mind all day. Yeah. Just let me put some loving on you. No, loving on you. Just let me put some loving on you, Say that, won't you? Siva Mai. Siva Mai. Say that, won't you? Siva Mai. So we're across the floor, she been staring at me right now. There's light in my eyes. I'm scheming the night, yeah. I can see right through you. Don't be shy, I'll move to smile. Come on through. I watch you one time, do it, and you love it long time. Let me prove it, and I watch you one time, do it, yeah. You love it long time, let me prove it. Yeah. See the eyeliner upon me. I know you feel it with my company. Show me a waist, move around slowly. Sitting my honey, Siva Mai with me. Say that, won't you? Siva Mai. Siva Mai. Say that.